Ryanair's Boeing 737 aircraft are equipped with three toilets, one at the front of the aircraft and two at the rear. In the past, Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary proposed charging passengers to use them. On another occasion, he proposed removing the toilets entirely to make space for more seats and therefore more paying customers. Those plans were never implemented due to technical and regulatory barriers, as well as public criticism. Even so, those suggestions made it very clear how Michael O'Leary views his customers and their bladders. He didn't say as much, but he'd clearly be very happy for his customers to sit with their legs crossed if it meant a few more pounds in profit. Now let's take a look at the purchase of demolition and construction equipment and how the choices made speak just as loudly as Michael O'Leary's plans to rip out the toilets on his aircraft. Modern demolition and construction equipment is an engineering marvel, the perfect combination of power and precision. Current generation excavators, for example, can take a few teaspoons of diesel fuel and convert it into a level of digging power that would have been unimaginable just a few years ago. Through the appliance of science and technology, the emissions coming from the machine's exhaust is cleaner than the nation's waterways, though that's not really saying very much. The operator sits on a seat that's more comfortable than the sofa in his front room. It's suspension mounted to protect him from the lumps and bumps of the site terrain, and in many instances, it's heated and cooled to keep his posterior at precisely the right temperature for maximum productivity. A touchscreen display allows the operator to dial his machine precisely to the specific requirements of the site and the application, further maximizing production and minimizing fuel consumption. The joysticks in his hands, so long the means of controlling the machine, are now a portal to an endless array of driver aids, each one designed to ensure that the machine and the operator do as much as possible with as little as possible. Many machines are fitted with GPS systems, which, when combined with those driver aids, ensure the most precise digging possible. No material that doesn't need to be moved is moved. There's no over digging and no reworking. It's precise production personified. And overseeing all of this is a telematics system, an electronic big brother monitoring every slewing motion, every boom raise and boom lower, every bucketful of material, every increase in engine revs, and every ounce of fuel used. All of this speaks to the primary aim of the modern demolition or construction equipment owner: productivity at all costs, or rather, productivity at the minimum possible cost. And speaking of minimum cost, let's now turn our attention to the many items that are not included on a standard machine. There are reversing cameras that give operators an unobstructed view of what's behind them, minimizing the risk of backing into objects, vehicles, and most importantly, people. But they generally come at an additional cost. There's other camera systems too that are strategically located on the machine to eliminate blind spots and to further improve site safety. They too carry an additional charge. There are 360-degree camera systems, object detection systems, and even AI powered human recognition systems that constantly scan the surrounding area to minimize the likelihood of an accident. In most instances, you'll find all of these seemingly vital systems in the options section of the machine spec sheet. Now, you could look at this and question why equipment manufacturers don't simply include these highly desirable and potentially life saving systems in a standard machine specification. It's a good question. But ultimately, equipment manufacturers have built their businesses on providing customers with what they want while omitting that which they don't. In short, equipment manufacturers are playing the averages. All their customers want maximum productivity. All their customers want the lowest possible levels of fuel consumption. All of their customers want the ability to monitor and manage their equipment fleets to an ever increasing degree. So all of that comes as standard. Meanwhile, safety systems are still seen by many customers as a choice. And in many cases, it's a choice they're not willing to make. Now, setting aside the fact that they view safety of their workers not as a standard requirement, but as a decision that needs to be made, what message does that send to those working on or around machines? The message it sends to me is that in demolition and construction circles, there's a culture in which human safety is regarded as a luxury, not a fundamental right, that workers on site are seen as somehow expendable. If we truly valued those that operate in and around heavy machinery, then safety would stop being something extra. It would be built in.